Hey guys, with everyone building home walls now, there's a lot of questions going around about how to route set. My focus with this video series is to hopefully try to help answer some of those questions. I've been climbing for about 17 years. I've been route setting for the last 12 years. Some things that I wanted to go over were just some general considerations to have with your wall, how to set it up, not necessarily the building of it, but the routes on it, as far as how are you going to be marking the routes, things to consider with your feet, and just some general ideas, things that have personally worked for me. This video is going to be a lot of basic information, but for the most part this is sort of a how to get started. I'm also going to take you through a full wall reset for myself, what that looks like. So before we get started with the actual setting, we need to talk about safety. Route setting can be dangerous, even when just setting boulders. Always wear eye protection. Make sure you are creating a clear landing zone, because if you do fall, you want to make sure that your landing zone is as safe as it can be. With feet, you have a few different options that you can do for your wall. The first one is open feet, meaning every hold on the wall is on for your feet. That's personally how I like to set my wall. That way I don't have to put footholds in place of handholds. The other option is tracking feet. You start with 1 or 2 feet on a kicker board, and the previous handholds on your route are going to be your footholds. Once you've figured out how you're going to address the foot issue, the next thing to talk about is how you're going to mark your climbs. There's a lot of different ways of doing this. There are no right answers. It all depends on what you are wanting to do. A lot of it has to do with your budget as well. So the first type of marking that I'm going to talk about is taping your climbs. You're actually physically going to put a piece of tape next to or under the hold, some way designating this is the hold to use. The reasons why I don't personally like it, I think it clutters up the wall a little bit depending on how many holds you have. It can be difficult to maintain. It's very easy to rip a piece of tape off the wall accidentally when you're smearing your foot. The tape just can come off and it's very easy to get lost. The next way of marking your routes is probably one of the more popular things. Most climbing gyms are doing this now. It's called monochromatic setting. The idea is that you are setting your routes with the same color hold. So the downside to monochromatic setting is that depending on your space, you may be limiting yourself as to how many climbs you can have on the wall. There's only a finite amount of colors, there's only a finite amount of wall space. So for that reason, a friend of mine and I have come up with a more intricate solution. I'm not saying that we are the first people to do this, I'm sure other people are doing it, but it's what I like to do best, it's what he does on his home wall. I set my routes monochromatically while also staying within the same set. For example, behind me you have the capital K holes in red. They're the big Wacos, the pockets. So you have that red climb and you follow all of the red pockets. Now you'll also notice there's a lot of other red holds on the wall. Those are different climbs. So you also have the red black hole jugs from Thrive. You have the red chasms from Solve climbing. So that's sort of my workaround. There's 3 red climbs all on the same wall here, all set monochromatically, but they're staying within the set. The next thing we need to talk about is bolt length. How much is sticking out of the back of the hold when you put it on? How much is too little? How much is too much? So right here I have a fairly long bolt. It works in some holds. In this case, it doesn't work. If you see, there's this dead space in here that is not threaded. Obviously, if you have that, it's not going to tighten the hold. This is obviously an exaggerated amount. If you even had that much, if you can see, that's maybe a 1/4 inch or so. It's not going to tighten on the wall, so this bolt is going to be too long. I like about that much. Bare minimum, I'd want about 3/4 of an inch coming through the wall, or coming through the back of the hold, sorry. Honestly, if you have any questions, whatever hold company you bought your holds from, they will know exactly what bolt size is recommended for that hold. So if you have any doubts, just get in touch with them. The first thing that I like to do is set some of the easier climbs, and the key to the easier climbs is cater them to who's going to be using them. If the wall is just for you and they're just as a warm-up, then make the movement really fun, make it comfortable, make it something that gets your body going. If you have kids, if you have a significant other, if you have friends that are sort of getting into climbing, you need to make it accessible for them. And the biggest thing with that is don't overcomplicate it. Think about when you first started climbing. You were just excited to get to the top of the wall. These warm-up climbs, if they're for beginner climbers, don't need to be crazy. They just need to get the person to the top of the wall, inspire that confidence, and get them wanting to climb more. If you are a competition climber or a parent of a competition climber, you might have to be setting comp style boulders. Or if you are using your wall to get stronger for climbing, maybe for an outdoor project, maybe just to climb harder in general, you might be setting more fluid climbs. Those can all affect where you put the holds and what kind of routes you have. If you're having a hard time coming up with a sequence or setting a route, just physically knowing what to do, try bolting a couple holds on the wall that you're really excited about and just pretend to climb. You know, if you grab a hold and you're like, well, I could do a heel hook here, like try to do that. Generally speaking, avoid ladders. They tend to be really boring, but I mean, you guys have all climbed, whether in a gym, outside, you know what movement is. Just put holds on the wall, experiment with it. Route setting is a lot of trial and error. Nobody is good at it when they first start, and nobody is perfect all the time. Just play around with it, see what you come up with, and chances are you'll end up creating some stuff that you're pretty excited about. Generally, I am not good at crimpers or smaller holds and body tension moves. I prefer open-handed grips like pinches, slopers, things like that, and being very dynamic with my climbing. So what I am doing is trying to set some climbs that are a little bit more fingery, a little bit more body tension oriented to try to challenge myself. As you're setting these projects for yourself, I think it's important to also set some things that play to your strengths. So it's not a bad thing to throw yourself a win once in a while. You know, you can't get shut down all the time. It's not going to be fun. There you have it. That is what it takes to reset my wall. Hopefully you guys got something out of this. If there's anything you guys would like me to cover in the future, I'm more than happy to do that. Just let me know. I'll be releasing a few more videos pretty soon. We'll be talking about spinners, talking about setting for kids, talking about setting projects for yourself. There's a lot coming, so if there's anything that you specifically want covered, just let me know. More than happy to do it.